Okay, we are recording. I've got Quincy Johnson. This is, I believe, our third interview. I believe could be fourth, but I think it's third. I have to apologize to our large squadron of fans. It's been my fault. We haven't been able to meet. Job, job, family, side hustle, all that kind of stuff getting in the way. But the most important thing. Hey,
selling drugs or something. Get out of here.
yeah, hey, well, hey, you do what you got to do. I got to be
I
me.
know. Okay.
Um, so most important thing, though, before we get to other stuff, is I just got a new haircut. Tell me how I look.
You look like you just enlisted. I'm kidding. You look wonderful, baby. You look wonderful. You look
Fresh
wonderful.
cut, fresh.
Good, high and tight.
Yeah.
You see me with the hat on. There's a reason for that. I am not
Okay.
dressed in tight.
All right, Quincy.
Also, I
What?
want to give a shout out to the Will
Oh,
Count Majority. What a band you Will Count. Good show on Sirius XM, you know?
nice, nice. I hear you.
Yeah.
Good, good, good. So you mentioned the other day that you are actually going to make the plunge and purchase your own truck. So walk us through. That's the cab only. Can you sleep in it? How does that work? Where do you park it at your house? What is the dollarage? Why do that? And why do it now?
Okay. Well, things have happened since then. I'm still going to purchase the truck, just not now, because it turns out what I thought was a good deal really wasn't. I
Okay.
talked to a bunch of people who've been owning their own trucks for the past, 5, 10 years. I told them the deals that I was going to get, which I don't really want to get into the details. That's a little bit too deep in the weeds. All of them said the same thing. We will beat your ass if you take this dumbass deal. Don't do it.
Okay.
Basically, I will say this. If you are going to get your own truck, get it on your own, not through the company that you're working with. Okay? I almost made that mistake. The best thing that you can do is save up money on your own and then go to the dealership yourself or to an auction, because you can go to a truck auction and get a decent truck for around 20 grand, maybe even less than that. But you don't want to go to the company that you're trying to work for or work with, because I've never heard that end up well. Like I said, I think my brothers will point that out to me, because that could have been real bad.
Mm.
But basically, how it works is, if you buy your own truck, you are a owner operator. Now you can own your own truck and work under the authority of a truck company. You will still own the truck, but the company would be the one whose authority you run under, meaning that you run under their insurance, their titles, their tags, and things like that, and they get the loads for you. If you have your own authority, which is something I'm going to do, you do all that on your own. You're getting your own loads, paying for your own fuel, your own tires, insurance, and everything. But the beauty with that is, since it costs so much to operate your own truck, you can charge as much as you like, damn near. You know what I mean? So I ain't gonna say kind of, it does balance itself out if you know what you're doing. You know what I mean?
Right. Because I would think then that the issue would be if you have your own truck and you can charge what you want, you have to know what you're doing, because the other people can undercut your price if they're just working
Yeah,
for a firm.
that happens all the time. You have to know your numbers. You have to know what's the minimum amount you're going to take per mile to make it feasible to drive your truck. Because then nobody can come out here and get freight for $1.50 a mile or $1 a mile or something.
Mm-hmm.
The problem with that is you're going to be out of business inside of a year if you do that. Generally speaking, it takes between $2 and $2.50 per mile for it to be worth it for an owner operator to haul a load. That's anywhere. You try to stay at $2 a mile. Every once in a while, you're gonna have to dip down, swallow your pride, and work something for say $1.80 or $1.70, but you want to keep that to a minimum as much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
That will eat you up. You'll have just enough money to run the truck, but nothing for you. Because remember, you're not only paying off the truck, you gotta pay yourself as well. You know what I mean? It's like, what's the purpose of getting all this money if it's going all into the truck, even you like $20? That's not good, you know?
No.
Yeah.
So, the thing is then, how do you decide, well, I mean, where does someone go to buy a truck? Like if I wanted to buy an Audi or a Subaru or a Ford, I know where to go.
Okay, well, to buy a truck, usually your bigger truck stops, even some mom and pop truck stops will have truck classifieds. You know what I'm saying? You can go through there. You can get on the internet and just look up, truck auctions in your area, or hell, even truck auctions around the U.S. Like, okay, or you can go to a dealership themselves and get something used or new. Like, you can go to the Peterbilt store, Mac store,
Mm-hmm.
Volvo, whatever, and buy directly from them. You might have to take a loan out from the bank, but any one of those options would be better than going with the company and trying to lease to purchase a truck through them.
Right.
Yeah.
And is it one of those?
Is there anybody listening right now who is under a lease purchase? Listen, I mean no ill will. I wish the best of luck to you. I'm just saying, from the people that I talk to who've been doing this way longer than I have, they all told me, yeah, just don't do that.
Right. Yeah, it sounds like it's a better idea to pick up some early pain and get that out of the way, so that at the end of the day, you're in a much better spot rather than being,
right.
That lease to own is difficult enough as it is with a regular vehicle. I drove Uber for a little while, and they would offer that lease to own stuff. And I'm like, you know what? This isn't the best deal. Better I get my own vehicle, get it insured and plated, and do it all by myself than go through the dealer directly. It was the same kind of thing on a smaller scale, of course, than what you've got. Are you getting one of those Mondo cabs with the sleeper thing in the back that's like a traveling house?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, I have a sleeper now. Like if you're over the road, you're going to have a bed in the truck. It's just a matter of how big you want your sleeper. Am I going to get one of those ridiculous size? Nah. If I was single, yeah, I would get something like that and let me just live in the truck for the rest of my days. But I don't need all that, man. I mean, I've got a bed. You know what I'm saying? I got a fridge, got a toaster oven. That's cool. My plan is now like within the next 3 years.
Okay.
I have enough money saved up to either buy a truck outright or put down a serious down payment on something, and then have small monthly notes until it's paid off or something.
Okay.
So I'm either gonna buy something outright for 20 to 40 grand, or put down 40 grand on something that's new and have low payments on it. You know what I mean?
Okay. And even with the payments coming in, your overhead is still manageable, so that, and enough about the business and the routes that this is a bite that you could take and not get totally overwhelmed with maintaining the overhead.
See, that's another thing. Even with buying your own truck, you still want to have some money set aside right from the jump just for incidentals.
Right.
Like, say, a flat tire or a missing lamp or a light. Or say somebody, comes to tax up your guns early or something like that. You want to have some money set aside for that. At least $5 grand. At least, like bare minimum, from the day you purchase a truck, put a down payment on the truck, take it off the lot, you would have at least another $5 grand saved up, just in case.
Right.
Shit on the truck is not cheap. Like, our tires are minimum $300 each, and those are for bottom of the barrel used tires. a good used tire, you're looking at about $600 a piece, you know?
Why do I see those retreads on the side of the road? It looks like they've been like I remember reading or hearing years ago. I don't know the real story. Like they put on fake rubber, or they like it's like like they ripped the skin off the tire. What's that all about?
If you see a retread, you see a tire tread on the side of the road, that bitch just fell off.
Oh,
that is okay. A retread is literally that they retread a tire that has gone bald. You know,
right.
You just lay another fresh tread over that. It's legal for every tire except for your steer tires, okay? Because it's fucking nuts when you put a retread on a steer tire. Seriously.
Yeah.
It's bad enough that if a steer tire blows on you, because that could be the death of you. I had one pop on me. I wouldn't wish that on my damn worst enemy, man. That was scary.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the retreads, like, if you see like a long tread on the side of the road, yeah, I mean that thing has gotten too hot and it really peeled off.
Okay.
I've had that happen. I've also had tires blow out on me. You'll know it because it sounds like a damn shotgun blast. Whether your windows are down or up, it's going pow, and then you're gonna see, you know, bits of rubber flying off your damn tire and whatnot. So that's what that is.
Okay. Yeah, because I see them on the side and I'm like, man, if they're driving regular speed and then all of a sudden this thing peels off, if the tire's going to go soon, they've got to get, I would think, to stop to get fresh tire. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Stop immediately if you have a blowout.
Okay.
If you have a blowout or a tread come off, get off the road immediately, and then do an assessment. It's just drivable for the next 20, 30, maybe 40 miles to a tire shop.
Right.
It would be a lot cheaper to drive it somewhere than to have them come out to you. A whole lot.
Hold on a minute. Hold on, Quincy. Hold on. I lost sound.
Maybe 25, 30 miles an hour.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And get it to a truck. If that bitch is just you can't drive on it, or you just driving on the rim, all right, you're gonna have to hold that L and call somebody out for you. You know?
Right. So should I quit my job and go into the truck tire business? Should I say, with all these tires blowing out, like corner the market?
I don't know about corner the market, but it is some money in truck repairs.
Yeah.
That much it's some money, you know.
Yeah. Interesting. So the last question about the trucking thing then, the two-part question, when do you pull the ripcord? When do you pull the trigger? And where are you going to park the rig?
Pull the ripcord as far as what?
I mean, like when do you buy the truck?
Oh, okay, gotcha. From the time I put down the down payment, it's usually 3 years that they give you to pay the truck off in full.
Okay.
Okay.
Are you in the truck now?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm in the truck.
You bought your.
No. I'm still in a company truck.
Oh, okay.
I've not put a down payment on anything.
When do you do that?
When?
Yeah. When's the big day?
As soon as I get enough money. Like I said, I was going to do the deal that, you know, I was going to lease onto a truck with no money down.
Right.
That was the deal. Which sounded good to me, putting down no money, but after getting into the weeds of the contract, it's just not good.
Right.
So as of right now, like I said, it's going to take me a minimum 2 to 3 years to save up enough money to put down on the truck.
Right.
Because, you know, I've got other pressing matters. I've got a family, making sure that they're good, everything like that, make sure I'm good.
Right.
So it's going to be about a good 2 years, maybe less, who knows.
Okay.
As far as where I park at, honestly, anywhere I want to that won't get it towed. I'm
Mm-hmm.
hoping by the time that I have the money for down payment, me and my girl have moved out the city, we moved in the country. I can park it on my own damn spot,
Yeah, I've seen that in upstate New York. A couple people will have they'll have a bigger piece of property and they've got like a separate little drive and they've got their truck there. And
Oh yeah,
that's
oh yeah, oh yeah.
they got space for it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Okay. Pretty good. Pretty good. All right. Nice, nice. So keep us posted as to what that's all about, how that process goes. The Quincy Johnson Truck Driver Purchase Fund is now open and accepting donations.
Yeah, damn right we are. Listen here. Cash out $ Q Johnson 76. Anybody wants to donate? Hey, I appreciate you. I'll give you a shout out. Yeah, if you put enough money in there, I will put your name on the truck. Okay? No bullshit.
Yeah, yeah. Hey, whatever it takes, right?
Yeah.
This is what people do.
Man, bro, I done seen people get money on Cash App for some things that's like, I'm doing it wrong. Like, what the hell?
Yeah.
Okay, like, we're going to throw it out there. I
Yeah.
can tell you right now, within the next month, I will be switching jobs because as much as I love flatbed work and I do, it's been a workout. I mean, I done dropped 20 pounds since May, not just jumping up and down on the truck. Unfortunately, I'm not making as much money as I should be because it's a newer company. So a lot of brokers are hesitant to work with us because we're a new company.
Mm-hmm.
So while I wish them the best of luck, I still got a family to take care of. If it was me, I would be able to survive on the checks that I'm making because it's just one person to worry about. But I got 4 other people to worry about, my girl and our kids,
Right.
So I'm going to this company. I'm actually going back to driving, okay, getting a sizable amount of money per mile, and I get to pick and choose where I can run at in the country. So, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So we'll slide over now into you and other things we've talked about where
Okay.
you and I have both I didn't seeing that I like my eyesight and I didn't want to actually sit and watch Democratic debates. We'll slide into politics as you're a black truck driver driving in Trump's America. So the Democratic debates are a little bit unique to both of us. But I wouldn't wish it on my worst enemy to actually have to sit and watch that stuff. I've seen clips and listened to some of the stuff. Dude, tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong, where all these people, all they do, Quincy, real quick, all they do, tell me I'm wrong. All they seem to do, and again, you know me, very libertarian. I don't like government at all, but I see the Democratic debates, and all they do is promise free stuff to certain special interest groups. What am I missing? Talk to me.
I'm not missing much. I'll be honest. I actually either listened or watched all 4 debates.
Wow.
It helped me get down the road, and I enjoyed the laugh. It seems to be a race to see who can promise the most free stuff. And it seems that they have put the needs and wants of the non-citizen over the citizen.
Yes.
Okay, it's like of all the debates I've heard, they'll talk about the citizen for a little bit, just for a bit of appeasement. But it seems to be a rush to see what all we can do for the non-citizen, which, let me just say for the record, before you get to some of my mentions, I have no problem with, keyword here, wait for it, legal immigration. I have no problem with legal immigration, okay? It's the people who want to jump our fence or jump the line, come over here illegally, and then have the nerve to look me in the eye and say, hey, F you, we're here. This is what we want you to do for us because we need it and we deserve it. Don't worry about that, Campo. Sorry, not sorry. I understand that the immigration process takes a while. It could take decades. You know what? Be mad at Democrats and Republicans that could have fixed this, but neither side wants to fix it because they want them know if they fix this, that's one less thing that they can fight for. That's one less thing that they can tap your pockets for to get some money. That's one less thing that they can get you riled up about to get you to feel, think, and vote a certain way. Both sides are get you on this. Okay, it's like as much as they on TV saying they don't like each other, behind closed doors, they're both working in cahoots to keep the country divided. Is it any wonder why the incumbents enjoy a re-election rate of well over 70%?
Well over.
It's to keep us divided. They know that all they got to do is show up to your area around election time, do a little grip and grin, maybe give a fire and brimstone speech, a glad hand and a photo op, you know what I'm saying, to get your money and get your vote. Well, once they have that, they don't need to do anything else to you, except maybe pop up again during the midterms or something like that.
Right.
Okay, let's be honest. Both sides have shown if they want to get something done, they'll get something done. If it's the Democrats, they got the Affordable Care Act through. Okay, when it comes to Republicans, they got these tax cuts through. So for them to sit there and say they can't get something done, no. You can, you just don't want to. You
Right.
want to keep it divided for
Right.
your own self-interest. You know.
Yeah.
And if I may park it just a little bit here for 3 minutes to speak to my fellow Black people here.
Okay.
If it has, and by the way, if this offends anybody, yeah, tell somebody who cares. Now, if it hasn't become abundantly apparent to my fellow Black people that Democrats have moved on from you and their focus is now on Latinos and illegal immigrants, I don't know what to tell you, bro. I don't know what to tell you, man. It's like all four debates, I only heard about the ills of the Black community, not how they're going to attempt to solve the ills of the Black community. Okay? They moved on because they've realized that no matter what they say, no matter what they do, you're going to vote for them no matter what. No matter what. So in their mind, they figure, why do we need to pander to y'all anymore? Why do we need to show up in your community? Why do we need to give speeches this, that, and the third? You're going to vote for us no matter what we do because we have drilled it into your head that no matter what we do, it's still better than voting for a Republican or a Libertarian or sitting at home. So, bye-bye. We don't need to show up in your areas anymore because we already got your vote. I mean, I know somebody, and I ain't going to say who they are, but they told me flat out, whoever gets the nomination on the left, they're going to vote for them no matter what. I'm like, whoa. Let me see if we get it straight. You're trying to tell me whoever gets the nomination, no matter what they say, no matter what they do, even if it's something really, really, really bad and stupid, you're going to vote for them no matter what. Yeah. I'm like, in that case, then, I hope whoever does get the nomination doesn't do anything real stupid because that may make you feel real stupid going to the booth on election day and voting for them. And this is one of my fellow brothers and sisters. I'm just like, this is why, they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing. They're not popping up because they already got your vote. And I'm just like, I just want to say to my fellow Black community, can you at least entertain? Just listen to a Republican, okay? Just listen. I'm not saying vote for them. Just listen to another side. Listen to a Republican. Listen to a Libertarian, okay? And if you don't like what you hear from either side, man, stay at home. Like, I have not voted since 2014, and my life has gotten infinitely better, which leads me to believe that politics really doesn't have that much of an influence on my life as the media makes it out to be. You know what I'm saying? It all comes down to personal responsibility. I'm going to keep saying it and keep saying it and keep saying it. I don't give a damn what the cats in D.C. is doing. I don't give a damn who the president is. Pardon me. I still got to get up every day and do what I got to do to provide for my family. So I just give a damn what they're doing. Okay, just there it is.
It's funny that you say that person was so brazen that it doesn't matter who it is. I'm just going to vote for that person. And I think of people who are running for president now, like Kamala Harris, who, when she was the attorney general in California, threw people in jail, a lot of black people in prison for smoking weed. She either floated the idea or pushed the idea of having parents of students who were truants, having those people put in prison. Now, these are not wealthy folks in Hollywood or in Marin County, north of San Francisco, that were at risk here, right? This is not people who were capable and powerful and wealthy that had any worry about this. She's going after the people who cannot help themselves. And the weird part is the Democratic Party that I grew up in, which their economics were off, don't get me wrong. Their economics were terrible. But they had tripwire sensitivity to making sure that those who had no or low numbers of tools to fight back didn't get stomped on. And here you have a woman who was totally okay with throwing tons of people in jail, people of color, POCs, as they say.
I hate that term.
God, I hate it. I never say that. I don't talk like that. I don't say. I work at Mount Vernon High School, and I'm the only white person in the room, and I never say that. She threw a lot of black people in jail, and your friend will vote for her no matter what. That's baffling to me.
It's baffling to me as well. I mean, you can make the argument that there's going to be a lot of Republicans that do the same. Like, no matter who gets the nomination, they're going to vote for that candidate no matter what. I get that. Luckily, I've been seeing a lot of pushback on Democrats from my fellow black folks. Now, I'm not talking about Brexit or walk away, because I'm not really rocking with some of these black conservatives. Candace Owens. Yeah, I'm not really rocking with you. It seems like
she's a cutie, though.
She's a cutie in a Waffle House at 3 in the morning. Yeah, I'm drunk and you're here type of way. All right? Yeah. It seems to be a lot of, well, not a lot, but there are some black conservatives that seem to be more concerned about this than actually getting stuff done.
Mm-hmm.
And it seems like the black conservatives that do want to get things done, they are shunned from other conservatives, black and white. Okay? There are some good conservatives out there, whether you're black, that are putting in the work. Looking at you, Sonny Johnson, looking at you, Giovanni. My man Giovanni, okay, he actually moved from D.C. to Virginia. I forgot the town. I'm sorry, B. Sorry. He moved to a town in Virginia. What the hell are you doing? Don't have a truck. Okay, cool. Sorry. But yeah, this dude moved to a small town in Virginia. Got with the local GOP community down there and everything, and actually rebuilt it from the ground up. That man is doing yeoman's work. That dude, you know what I'm saying? So you know what? If you're mad at the Democrats in your area, go down to the Republican area. You know what I'm saying? And start there. I ain't saying like take it over, like but just take it over and mold it in your image.
Mm-hmm. And who is this that you're talking? Who is this? Who are you talking about? Who moved? I'm not familiar with the name.
Giovanni Rousseau. Sorry, bro, if I messed up your last name.
Okay.
We follow each other on Twitter. Good guy. Sonny Johnson. She's another one. She's on Sirius XM. Good woman. You know what I'm saying? And she's spoken time about how she's trying to get things done in the conservative community, and more specifically the black community, and got outright turned away because there's a lot of conservatives that are just stuck on the same old talking points. It's like I have called conservative talk shows and given a blueprint on how you can get more black people in tune to your ideas. Because if you just go off the ideas, not the person saying the ideas, you can, you know what I'm saying, get more people, you know what I'm saying, or at least more black folk to at least look at Republicans. It's like, first things first, you gotta show up. They gotta show up. Like, don't sit there and say, you know, oh yeah, well there's gun violence in Chicago, and you know, black on black crime. Okay, have you gone there? Have you done anything about it? Have you shown up? Have you had a meeting? Not just a rally, but no, it's quiet. Okay, don't speak on the problem if you're not gonna do anything about the problem. Because anybody can yap about it. What are you actually doing about it? That's the problem I have with some of these, you know, conservatives are. And so, number one, you got to show up. You got to show up in the black community. You got to show up at their church. Show up at their barbershop. Show up at their red shop. Show up at their cookout. And not only that, show up knowing that it may very well be the worst day of your damn life. You may get yelled at. You may get cussed at. Hey, man, hold that L and show up anyway. At least that way, they can't hold it against you like they're too scared or afraid to show up. Okay? And when you do show up, don't come up with the same old Republican talking points. Don't show up talking about the woes of the black community. Because guess what? We already know about it, Kimpo. We already know about it. We living it. Show up and talk about how you're going to make it better. Like, if it was me, I spent the first 20 minutes talking about black women and how awesome they are. How they are the fastest rising group of educated people in America. That's a fact. How they're the fastest growing number of entrepreneurs and small business owners. That's a fact. Speak on that and then speak how you're going to improve on that. You know what I mean? Those two ideas right there, you know, would get you something. Because you might still get pushback, but they'll be like, you know what? I still think the guy ain't about nothing, but at least he showed up and listened to us, so I can't really hold that against him. Start there, you know.
Right.
But you just sitting back saying that old tired, pull yourself up by the bootstrap. That's not gonna work with us, B. That's not gonna work with us.
No.
You know?
And the other thing I think that you said that makes a lot of sense is, and it's what makes me upset about the Democratic stuff, because it's the same old nonsense that they're just spewing left and right and center. It's crazy. But what you said, the person, if they were to go to the black community and speak as, let's say, as a Republican, or let's try something new, or libertarian side of things, you know, even though you said it might be the worst day of their lives, and I can see that, but you know how it is. There's going to be 2 or 3 people who aren't yelling and screaming and spitting at this person with influence, who are going to be maybe quietly in the back listening, or, you know, processing what they say, or maybe a 17-year-old who's like, hey, wait a minute. This is not crazy stuff. Usually, in my opinion, it's either somebody very old or somebody very young who isn't, you know, just lockstep, knee-jerk reaction. I see it with the teenagers, right? Because I speak freely, and we talk about politics and guns and self-defense and immigration, legal and illegal jobs, all this kind of stuff. And these conversations go very well. Like I told you the last time we spoke, if the person is over 25, they don't usually go very well, because they are just locked in and they'll be yelling and screaming and going crazy. So I think there's something to what you say, where somebody may take a loss on the surface, but yeah, you've got to start somewhere. And when I see like the Democratic debates and I see let's give free health care to people coming across the border, I don't understand how anybody in the black community could take that person seriously. I work in the black community. I live in the Bronx. They're not giving out free health care in Mount Vernon. So why are we jumping through hoops to see to it that people coming across the border get free health care?
Say it again for the motherfuckers in the cheap seats, man. Listen, I tell a lot of my black people, like, you see how hard they're going for illegal immigrants. When was the last time they went that hard for us, dog? Seriously. When was the last time they went that hard for us? Like, there's a video floating around. The mayor of Pennsylvania. Damn it. The town in Pennsylvania. I'm having a brain fart. The town where Rocky's from, Philly.
Oh, Philadelphia, yeah. Yes.
Have you seen that video?
I saw that. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it.
Whoa.
Where was the pushback? Where was the pushback? I couldn't believe.
I'm like, have you danced that hard for your own citizens? Have you danced that hard for the black? I was like, what's the video you saying, hey, Philly, I just got your taxes? You know, it ain't there.
Right.
You don't take this hard for illegal immigrants. And I'm just like, it sounds a wake-up call. Fellow black community, take it as a wake-up call. Like, they ain't never danced that hard for you, bro.
No, never.
The best thing they gonna do for you is give you a midnight basketball league or something like that. And what I really don't get is how people can blame the problems of cities that have been held by Democrats for decades on Republicans.
Right.
Come on, dog. Really?
Right.
Really? Like, I will give you a perfect example. The whole thing in Flint, Michigan. Okay? Which, by the way, I think it's so effed up that, you know, the water so is messed up down there.
Yep.
But people trying to put that on the Republican governor. No. You gonna sit there and act like the mayor and the city council are just totally hands-free on that? Like they had nothing to do with it? And somebody was like, oh, that's because, you know, the governor is Republican. He has so much power that he overran, you know, all of the libs on there. Okay, well, thank you for admitting that you got weak-ass Democrats, and you need to get them the hell out of there and put in some strong Democrats that can stand up to the Republicans. What you're not going to do is sit there and tell me that the Democrat mayor and the freaking Democrat city council had no say-so in this whatsoever. It is not the Republicans' fault of what happened in Flint. First of all, Flint has to have a Republican mayor in quite some time. Well over 30 years.
Yes.
Okay. They haven't had a Republican city council in quite some time as well. Also, right before, I remember January 2018, didn't Obama, you know, pledge $1 million for the Flint water crisis? Where'd that money go to? Nobody's talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
And the man pledged $1 million, which would be given, quote, immediately to Flint. Where'd that money go? Where'd that money go?
Right.
Huh? Nobody wants to talk about that. But it's Trump's fault. Like, come on, dog. Are you serious right now? Like, are you gonna blame Trump for everything? Because that's just stupid. That's just stupid. There's a lot of things going on that happened well before Trump got in office, man.
Yeah, I realized that the same way.
I'm just hyped today, bro. I'm just like, when listening to the radio and everything, I'm just like, y'all are dumb.
Yeah, it's really out of control. I had an exchange on Facebook years ago when the Flint thing first hit, and I realized that people were just thinking with their emotions. Actually, let me rephrase. They weren't thinking. Okay.
I don't know what happened.
With what?
Oh, my daggone Bluetooth went out. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I actually hear you better. I hear you better now than I did before. I've been able to hear you the whole time, but now I hear you way better. So I hope that the first 45 minutes of this came through, but I could hear you before. It just wasn't as crisp and clear as it is now. Okay.
Then lesson learned. I will not use the Bluetooth anymore for the podcast. My bad.
Well, okay. All right. Yeah. Either way. But when the Flint thing is fascinating because you and I had the same experience. I actually went online because someone was blaming Trump they were blaming Trump and the Republican Congress for Flint having contaminated water. And I was like, wait a minute. Before I even responded, I was like, I actually went online and looked back in time. I got down to the late 60s, early 70s, and it was still just Democratic politician after politician. Yeah. And I said to this person, I said, wait a minute. I just checked. It took me 5 minutes. This place has been run by the people in the Democratic Party for as long as we've been alive. Yeah. Where are they? And you know what? He wasn't hearing it. Trump, and now that
of course you don't want to hear it, man.
And now that the Congress isn't, the Republican Congress isn't throwing money at Flint because they voted down some stipend or whatever it was, some bill that was going to give them X amount of zillions of dollars. because they won't give the money to help fix it, they're bad. And was not willing to discuss what I had brought up. And I think people are just religious thinkers when it comes to politics. Like you said, you haven't voted since 2014. Things get better. In theory, you and I talked about this the first time, in theory, because Orange Man Bad is in the White House, you're supposed to be suffering and crying.
Yeah, man. I'm supposed to
And
be triggered and shaking and fearing for my life. No,
no.
nah, man. I'm like, first of all, I've said it before and I'll say it again, bro. If America really was as racist as the media makes it out to be, I couldn't be as good at my job right now as a truck driver. This is a white, male-dominated industry. If it was as racist as the media makes it out to be, I couldn't function. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist because it's out there, but it's nowhere near the level of what the media makes it out to be. I'm literally in these damn streets every damn day, bro. With the exception of the 3 or 4 days a month that I'm home, I'm in these streets all day, man, surrounded by other drivers and other people.
Mm-hmm.
If it was truly that damn racist, you think I would be able to flourish like I'm flourishing now? No, man. No. Going back to this whole Flint thing, you know, Democrats love to say they're all about charity and whatnot. Why didn't they, fucking help out? Now, I know there's some, like Diddy and Nick Cannon, they send a couple truckloads of water. Where's everybody else, bro? You know what I'm saying? All these damn liberals who claim that they're for the little guy, and I'm calling out the heavy hitters in Hollywood who have the money, who have the time, who have the resources. Y'all could have easily sent 10 damn truckloads of bottled water. You know what I'm saying? Hell, I would have driven some of them trucks for y'all, B. I'd have charged the fuck out of y'all, but I would have driven, some of the trucks for y'all. But where were you at? Like, Michael Moore was over here bitching and moaning for months. Where's everybody at? Bitch, where are you at? You got some money. Mm-hmm. You got some money. That's your hometown, bro. You trying to tell me you couldn't send one damn truckload of water? Come on, man. Get out of that foolishness, dog. Like, don't, just...
But it's weird. It's funny because I think people don't. I think the people at the top of the pyramid realize that they don't have, like Hollywood and top flight politicians, particularly politicians, the media, and in Hollywood, they don't have to actually act on anything. You see stuff on Twitter. All
they got to do is speak on it, and they figure I did my part.
Yeah, right. I mean, you see somebody like Alyssa Milano, a B-list actress who was popular in the 80s when I was in middle school. And
I ain't gonna lie. She was finding who's the boss. I ain't even gonna front.
Don't tell me about it. I was 13, so you can only imagine.
I think I was like 10 or 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
She got popular in a couple of movies, but man, her politics are whacked out.
And she sends out the same tweet every time. But and the thing is, maybe people do this, but nobody with any pull says, "Look, lady, you are very well off. You live like a goddess. Get off Twitter, put down your phone, and send it, like you said, send a truckload of water or back a politician, knock on some doors, get signatures." These people are lazy. They realize that they don't have to actually act.
Nobody calls them out. That's why I'm that Leonardo DiCaprio, great dude. But if I ever see him, I'm swinging on his bitch ass, man. Like, with the life that you live, you have the nerve to tell me that I need to do more to save the planet.
Yes.
This man owns multiple mansions, but I got to recycle more. Yeah. This man has a fucking mega yacht, but I got to do more to save the planet. Are you kidding me, dog?
Right.
You're a great actor. I love your work. You got some type of nerve, Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yeah.
And the rest of y'all sitting up there in your mega mansions with your private jets and whatnot and your 4 or 5 multiple cars, y'all got some type of nerve to tell me that I need to do more to save the planet. Are you kidding me, man?
Right.
By the way, there was recently a freaking climate change conference in Barcelona or Mallorca, somewhere in Spain.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody went on a freaking private jet.
Yes.
The irony.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Check your
You can't
Bluetooth
fly
real
those?
quick.
Seriously?
Check your
You
check your
ever
sound.
private jets? I know your ass ain't staying in no damn Motel 6. You know what I'm saying? You staying in a big ass hotel room with the entourages and whatnot. But it's up to me to do more.
Right.
I ain't going with that BS.
Yeah. Check your Bluetooth real quick. See if it's still going strong. Can you hear me okay?
I can't hear you.
Because I can hear you. I can hear you. Hold on.
Bro. Hold on.
Hold on.
Hello?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah. Okay. There you are.
Okay. Yeah, we had a little bit because you were sounding really crisp, and then it went back to the. I've never lost sound, but it got better, and then now it's back to a little bit faded. So we'll see how this goes on playback.
Yeah, man.
Sorry
about that.
That's all right. But it's a good point because that's the thing where we go back to. It was a question I was going to ask you about the Democratic debates. Is these people are very comfortable talking about race. I have to say it like it is. There's a lot of anti-white rhetoric, which I think is risky. I think they're playing with fire, right?
They are.
And then it's a complete disregard for established black communities in the country, and none of the DNC candidates really seem to care.
It's more division. I'm like, first of all, if white men really are the problem, then Joe Biden, Beto O'Rourke, whoever the fuck else you running, get your ass out of there, dog. Step out of the way, as you say. Step out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Might as well throw Cory Booker in there too. His ass is white. Ha! Anywho. But yeah, man, it's just, this whole division stuff. Are there some bad white people? Yeah. Okay. But, to sit here and with broad brushstrokes and say that, every white person you come across is the devil, like, nah, man. Get out of here, dude. It's again, more division to get you to feel a certain way, vote a certain way, donate a certain way.
Right.
That's it. I see through it. I ain't gonna use that stupid ass term and say that I'm woke, because I hate that term. That shit's overplayed. I'm just gonna say I see through the BS. Okay, it's like, how can I put this? I'm just gonna say it. Number one, I fully believe that no matter who gets the nomination, they're gonna get their ass kicked by Trump. I don't see Trump losing. The only way I see him losing is if he's dead or in a coma. That's it. He could be in jail, and I can still see that man getting elected. For real, for real. I just don't see him losing. I don't see him losing Texas, although I'll concede that it may be a bit harder than in the past to win it. I will concede that point because there's a lot of motherfuckers moving from California over to Texas, bringing their politics over. You know what I'm saying? So, while I will say that he's still gonna win it. Maybe not as much as he did in 2016. But I can. It's just, man. I mean, how can people not see the scam that's going on? How can he not see it, bro? It's just, it's all division. And it's like, I didn't vote for Trump because, like I said, I honestly don't give a damn who the president is because I'm going to hit my numbers regardless. Regardless. I don't care who gets elected. You think if a Democrat wins, I'm going to just curl up in a ball and, oh, my God. Fuck no.
Right.
I got shit to do. So I'm cussing too much. I got things to do, man. I got a family to take care of. I got a lovely queen to take care of. I got kids that need stuff. I don't have time to be sitting in a ball, you know what I'm saying, being triggered and whatnot. I don't have time for all that, dog.
Right.
I got what to do, B. I'm not gonna riot or protest if a Democrat wins, and I also ain't gonna be in the street doing the freaking Humpty Hump or the Harlem Shake if Trump gets reelected.
Right.
Business as usual. Business as usual, bro.
Right.
You know, like, come on, man. What are we doing out here? It's like there are way too many people emotionally involved, and it happens every damn election cycle. What do we hear? This is the most important election of our lifetime. You have to make your voice count. You have to shut up. Yeah, what's wrong with y'all, man? Like,
Right.
you know that BS in an 04, vote or die? Really?
Yeah, remember that?
Now, as a black person, I was pissed seeing so many black people out here wearing vote or die. You trying to tell me that if I don't vote, I'm literally going to die? Really?
Right.
You know?
Yep.
Guess what? I didn't vote, and my black ass still here. Now
Yeah.
what?
And that sounds, you can hear me okay, Quincy? You can hear me now or no? Okay. And it sounds so ridiculous now. Vote or die is so like, I don't know. It's so uncomfortable. It's kind of like, like that's not really going to fly. At the time that was pushed by MTV. It was pushed by everybody. It's like, oh, vote or die. Look at P. Diddy, all this kind of stuff. And it's, the one of the points that you alluded to earlier is a good one. And you say it differently, but I read Tucker Carlson's book, recently, a couple months ago, and a lot of it is standard stuff, but he has some good points. And one of the best ones is what you have spoken about as well, where he says that the Democratic politicians, they're just covering themselves because you have places like Flint, Detroit, Philly, New York City, Chicago, and these have been Democratic controlled areas for decades, and they're disasters. So now they're not saying Republicans or Democrats. They're now using race as a division and a bludgeon and saying, look, it's just more white supremacy. It's just more white race type stuff. And they're not saying, look, we ran it. We ran Flint. We run Chicago. We run New York City. We run Philly. Baltimore, your boy Elijah Cummings just put on a show not too long ago.
My boy, I don't
nah, right?
Don't do
so
that.
your man's and his point, Carlson's point, is a good one. It's like they're just covering themselves because the evidence is so out there. It's so obvious that they're now bringing race into it. And of course, they're playing with matches. They're playing with gasoline. It really bothers me that they're doing this divide and conquer stuff. And they're using race, which I thought had been played out in the 50s and the 60s. But they're doing it, and they're doing it worse than before. So, it goes to what works with people's minds. And you have, and I have people we know where it's just R or D. One is bad, one is good, and that's it. And that's the extent of the analysis. And that's disappointing.
You can't even talk third party no more. You know what I mean?
No.
You can't talk that over because then that's throwing away your vote. Like, here's what it was. Ross Perot, may he rest in peace, because that was, a good dude. He scared the Democrats and Republicans so damn much.
Yep.
That after that election, they was like, look, we got to make sure that nobody else gets their hand in this pot, bro. So as much as we may disagree on camera,
yeah,
on camera, make sure that no other motherfuckers come through.
Yeah.
You notice since then, no third party has gotten more than like 5% of the vote.
Right.
You know what I mean?
But Perot was right.
Yeah.
He was right. Perot was right. Everything he said in 92 has come to pass, especially with NAFTA and the border.
If I could have voted, because I was only 16 in 92, I would have voted for Ross Perot, because I liked what he was saying. If I may just for a minute talk about white supremacy.
Okay.
This right here, boy. It's gonna make some people upset. Don't care.
And make sure your sound is good, because it's make sure that everything is going well on your end with sound, just to verify before you give it.
Is it still coming in low right now?
It's coming in low, but hold on. Try that again. Say it again.
Wait. I'm gonna turn off the Bluetooth. Can you hear me now?
Whoa, that's way better.
Okay. I've turned off the Bluetooth and it's all good. So you can hear me, right?
Perfect. Way better than before.
Okay.
That's whatever you're doing, stay with it.
Okay.
Now talk to me about white supremacy.
White supremacy does not exist.
You're going to make
What
some
the
enemies with that.
hell? If I don't give a flying F, they ain't gonna kill me and they ain't gonna whoop me. I'll
Right.
say it again for dramatic effect. White supremacy does not exist. Here's why.
You're going to have to explain that because that's a big one.
For me to believe in white supremacy is to believe in black inferiority because there's duality to this. If somebody is supreme, then that means that somebody else is inferior. I'm inferior to nobody. I am a man descended from God, and I'll be damned if somebody is going to tell me that simply based off of race, they're superior to me. Kiss every square mile of my ass. You got me all the way effed up on that one. No. Hell no. Okay? White supremacy doesn't exist. Hell, black supremacy doesn't exist. I do not get down with that. First of all, and this is no disrespect to you, I'm just going off what I've seen on Twitter. I've seen some white people do some real stupid shit. And my immediate thought is, these are the motherfuckers that's supposed to be supreme to me? Are you kidding me? I saw a video of some white girl proclaiming that she has sex with her dog. And I just put a retweet. I'm like, this is yet another reason why I say white supremacy doesn't exist. Because if you think for 1 second that I'm inferior to this white person, you got your damn mind. You got your damn mind. Like I see all these, Klan members and white nationalists. I got my gun and I'm going to kill some black people. I'm supposed to be inferior to them? Serious? Nah, fam. No. Not this guy. Not this guy. No. Talk that crap to somebody else, man. Okay? We don't do white supremacy or black inferiority over here. No, we don't. No, we don't do none of that. You got me all the way effed up. And for somebody to sit there and tell me that I have to believe in white supremacy, no, hell no, no, Bree. I'm a man. All right, I'm a man. Okay, and I'm gonna act like a man. Okay, I'm not inferior to anybody. If you to sit there and tell me that I am, nah, B, no. I will concede that racism still exists. I'll give you that, because racism is hate, and hate is a part of human nature. Here's the kicker, though: can't change human nature. Sorry, not sorry. You just can't change that. Somebody's gonna always hate you, either because of the color of your skin, or your sexual preference, or where you were born at, or whatever. Now what? You gonna curl up in a ball and have a pity party, or you gonna rise to the occasion and show them bitches that you can do whatever the hell you want to? Pick one. Choose wisely.
So then, why is it so prevalent? Is it a conspiracy from the top of the pyramid? Is it people divide and conquer? Is it a way to get votes? Is it a way to get paid? Something's going on, because I hear you what you're saying, and I saw our guy Hotep Jesus on Rogan's show. Right, he speaks well. A couple other guys out there. And they're very much in line with what you're talking about. I see it. I get it. It's not a problem, but what I see going on that's it's so in our face. It's everywhere all the time mentioned. Someone's got to be driving it. There are people out there like you, like the Hotep movement. They exist. There are people, in the mix.
I'm a Hotep myself. Shout out to Hotep Nation, Hotep Jesus. Yep. Uncle Hotep, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody in Hotep Nation, man.
Yeah, I remember watching Uncle Hotep. I was in room 211. I had the senior class that year, and I was like, "Who's this guy? Who's this black dude wearing a MAGA hat?" And And I saw this guy doing it. I was like, okay, all right, now I can see why he catches some flack. But it's hard to argue with what he was talking about. And I was doing video. I don't know if he still is, but he's doing video. He was doing videos in his car and explaining things. Nice, neat, crisp 10-minute videos, just explaining the Uncle Hotep view of things, and it worked. I liked it. It was stuff that made sense, and I showed some to students. But it's so prevalent. Is it just the top of the pyramid saying, here's the rabble, they don't think, let's use this to get them squabbling? Is it that brazen? Is it that simple?
Yeah, it really is. In this day and age, yeah, because they see so many people breaking away from conventional media that the ones that are still sticking with it, they're just bombarding them and bombarding them and bombarding them with all of this stuff here, so that the ones that aren't still watching conventional media, or the ones that are doing their own research, they seem like the crazy ones now. You know what I mean?
Right.
They seem like the crazy ones, you know? And it's I see it, bro. And like you said, if I was to only watch, you know, MSNBC, Talking Points, Media Matters, Fox, right, Fox News, Breitbart, you would think the damn world's on fire.
Yes.
24/7.
Yeah.
It ain't like that. Like I said, when I'm on the road, I'm around people from all walks of life, not 24/7, but at least 11 hours a day. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? It's not like that. There's a lot of people living in bubbles, you know, that either don't venture out their city or even don't venture out their state. Me, I've been lucky as a truck driver. I've been to every state in the continental United States and Canada and Mexico, but not as a truck driver. It's really not as bad as the media makes it out to be. Mm-hmm. Are there some bad things popping off? Yes. Is it as magnified as they would have you to believe? No, it really isn't. If, like I said, if it was, I wouldn't be allowed in certain spots. Right. Okay, like it's like if people like if the media if Alabama, Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi was as racist as they make it out to be, I couldn't deliver there. You know, I just couldn't, because they be too damn racist. You know what I'm saying? Right. But it ain't like that though.
Well, you're also talking very logically, because I've asked this of a lot of different people, and I've said, if the United States is a hotbed of white supremacy and it's run by a white nationalist, white supremacist, racist president, why does everybody want to come? Why would anybody want to come to the United States? It doesn't make sense.
And I ask that question all the time.
And all that happens because, you know,
Texas, yeah. Why are you risking life and limb? And not only that, what's that say about the places that they're leaving, that they're willing to risk life and limb to come to a place that's so racist, homophobic, xenophobic? Right. And I mean, seriously, what's that say about the places that they're leaving, bro? If we're all that, but yet they still want to come here.
Right. Hmm? Yeah, and it's weird, which makes me instantly, I mean, I have a complete distaste and just disgust for the corporate media. They're completely beyond hope. I mean, it's really, really bad. And True. So then when I see, you know, I ask a question like that and I see I don't know, people I used to have faith in, regular people coming after me, saying things. I get called all kinds. You can only imagine the stuff that somebody like me gets called on social media with my views. That's why there has to be something else afoot. That's why I asked you, is it a divide and conquer? Is it roust up the citizens? And I see, normally I have a lot of faith in regular people, because like you said, most regular people I'm cool with. Look, I mentioned before, I'm at Mount Vernon High School in New York, just above the Bronx. I live in the Bronx. Everybody we're trying to pay our mortgage. I try to pay rent. I'm trying to get kids to school, right? And you know what? So is everybody else. And at work, which I'm in the black community. Mount Vernon is 90 some odd % black, a mix of West Indian and American black people for the most part. And it's the same kind of stuff. People are struggling. People are trying to make ends meet and make it happen. Yet you go on social media or corporate media, and like you said, you'd think that a meteor was careening towards the planet at 99 million miles an hour, and we're all going to burn up in a fireball in the next 15 minutes. So it's really, I think the propaganda is getting, I think it's getting a little out of control, to be honest. I see stuff on Twitter, and I see the way these people talk. I see the squad. It's one of the things about Trump, and Trump is a mixed bag. But one of the things I like about Trump, one of the things I like about him, he just says stuff like that. Like, that's a crack. Go take care of where you're from first, and then come here and run. We spoke like that in middle school. We spoke like that in junior high. We said, look, right? That's a regular person would do that. You know what? My wife's from Ecuador. When we're down there, they're very clear on, look, we know we have problems. If you're coming from somewhere else, take care of where you're from, come to Ecuador and enjoy yourselves. Hey, great. I'd retire in Cuenca, Ecuador tomorrow if I could afford it.
Quito, go to Quito, Ecuador.
Quito is nice. That's second place. Quito is second place. But my point is that down, if you go there and you're like, well, you need to do this and you need to get rid of this and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff, they would say, why don't you handle your mess of a country first before you come here? So Trump does that, which is very logical. And for all the guys' oddballness, that's what a lot of people think. And you saw the reaction. It was like he had driven a gas tanker onto a raging bonfire.
You know what? That's why I get kind of upset when the president of Mexico tries to chastise us. Bruh. You know what's happening in your country? Oh, by the way, Mexico is a perfect example of why more gun laws won't work. They've outlawed guns.
Yes.
If you're a citizen, you can't even own a gun.
No.
But still, people are getting clapped the hell up every damn day in Mexico.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, if anybody thinks that our immigration policies are real effed up, read Mexico's Articles 32 and 33 of the Mexican Constitution. They actually put their immigration laws in their Constitution, Articles 32 and 33. If you think ours are bad, read theirs. There's a whole bunch of stuff. If you're a foreigner, you can't do over there in Mexico. By the way, if you are a foreigner, you cannot be involved in government work whatsoever. You can't work for somebody in the government. You can't run for office.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hold a rally. Can't hold a protest. You can't even make a damn banner. Okay?
Right.
You can't own any land, any water rights, any mineral rights. Any job you do apply for, the citizen gets first crack at it, even if you're more qualified. Also, the president of Mexico, on down to the heads of state of each region and territory, can kick out a foreigner for any and or no reason whatsoever. I didn't believe that until I did my research, ding, 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 and saw story after story of Africans, Cubans, and French people, some of whom got kicked out because they couldn't sing the Mexican national anthem on cue.
Mm-hmm.
That's a true story.
Right.
It was like 2 or 3 Cubans got kicked out the country because they couldn't sing the Mexican national anthem on cue. But we're the monsters when it comes to immigration. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, we have a friend who's we'll wrap up in about 5 to 10 minutes, but we have a friend who's Dominican, from Dominican Republic, and her daughter is late teens, early 20s, and just a knockout. Very, very smart, very good looking, just the total package. Her Spanish, however, because she was raised in the United States predominantly, is not very good. She ran in one of these beauty contests, right, to work her way up to to be Miss Dominican Republic, and she has a shot. She got rejected early on because guess what? Her Spanish wasn't up to the level.
Damn.
Yes. So they were like, you don't speak Spanish well enough to even rate. Go study for 2 years and then come back. And
what was the contest? Here in America or back
it
home?
was in the Dominican Republic.
Oh.
And my point, I mean, what I'm saying it because could you imagine the blowback if someone had maybe less than perfect English speaking skills here in the United States and got kicked out of a beauty pageant? There would be hell to pay. It would be like somebody set off a nuclear bomb in the middle of Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
It would be a complete dumpster fire, especially in the corporate press and in social media. And that happened. And of course, no news. This is someone we know. Like we know the mother. I used to work with her, and her daughter's now older. And nope, you can't be in this pageant. You don't speak your native language well enough. Go hit the exit, come back. It's taken her 2 years of hard study, and she now speaks Spanish, and she can Spanish better, right? She speaks it like more like she should, and according to the people in the Dominican Republic, and she can now do it. And I see these things all the time, and it's just the idea that it's so the racial stuff, let's knee-jerk reaction trash the United States.
Yeah.
It's really there. I don't know what's up. It's weird.
Either. My thing is, of all the things of which you could hate somebody, you're gonna hate somebody over the one thing that they can't change, their race.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, which, by the way, I don't get into all that. Oh, I identify as white or black. Shut up. No. Get out of here with that crap. Nah, that whole Rachel Dolezal thing,
that's your girl. Yeah.
No. That woman needs help.
Yes.
That woman needs help. She is sick. And for all the work that she did at the NAACP, she could have did that as a white chick, and we'd have been cool with it. We'd have been cool with it. How that saying go? You ain't got a lot of kick it. Like, come on. You could have came to us as a white woman, did all the work at the NAACP, and we'd have been cool with it. But you gonna lie and say that you're black? Come on, man.
Yeah, that's
people
weird.
were okay with that. Like, no. What the hell is wrong with you? She's not black. Get out of here.
Yeah, that whole thing was really weird. I think when they look back at the United States in this era, they're going to be very
what the fuck
if there's a United States. And this, maybe we got to remember this because this is a good one that we'll have to start with next time is, will there be a crack up? They always talk about the United States dividing. It was a conspiracy theory for a long time. And I don't know, man. I think you and I need to hash that one out.
We are a resilient people, even with all of our differences and whatnot. The United States is never going to break up. First of all, who the fuck's going to claim us? Okay?
No, I don't mean that. What I mean is each different group, each different area does its own thing. There's no way you can tell me that you want some purple-haired social justice warrior screaming weirdo Harpy Harridan dictating to you what you're supposed to say, what you can't say, how you're supposed to think. There's no way Johnson wants that.
Person is never going to be president. Think of it this way. If we were to break up into just only 3 regions, what's to stop our enemies from coming through invading said region? Now they bitches. You know what I'm saying? It's like if America was to break up, what's to stop Mexico from coming through and taking back all of their fucking property, or the French coming through taking back all of their property? You know what I mean? Like it's never gonna happen, bro.
Well, maybe nothing would. Maybe that's the point. Maybe those gun owners in West Virginia, the libertarians in northern New Hampshire, the people in rural Virginia, these people are armed to the teeth, and they're like, okay, Mexico, come up and do it. And what they're going to do is the social justice warrior loony left, those areas are ripe for the taking. They've been de-gunned. They're weak people. They do as they're told. Maybe that's what's necessary. Maybe it'll galvanize the country, but I don't know, man. It's there's such serious division that I don't know how to play it.
I'm gonna give you one good reason why I don't think America would ever break up. Because that means Congress would have to give up their power, and that's something that they're just never gonna fucking do. And there's just not enough people to forcibly make Congress give up the power, because there's too many people either dependent on the government or scared of the government for the government to ever go away.
Okay.
Because they're never gonna voluntarily give up that power. It's just not gonna happen. It's going to have to be by force. And like I said, there's so many people either dependent upon the government or just scared of the government for the government to ever go away. There's always going to be America. I just think America isn't going anywhere.
This is a good topic. We need to talk this one out, because this is good stuff. This is good stuff because, yeah, I mean, I'll leave it with this just because this is a good hour at least, because remember, you talk about Congress not giving up power. However, they don't have power if no one listens to what they say, if they're just ignored. And there's no force, there's no nothing. They just can't do it. For a quick example, there was that shooting in New Zealand. New Zealand said, okay, we're now banning all these types of guns, turn them in. This is the country of New Zealand. Do you know how many guns have been turned in?
How many?
700. In a nation where there are at minimum 1.5 million guns. People are just ignoring it. They're just not paying attention to it. New Zealand is kind of a rough place. They have a low crime rate. They have a high gun ownership rate. They had that shooting, which I have issues with that as a conspiracy theorist, but that's a side point. That's a side point. But they said, okay, can't do it anymore. Hand them in. Turn them in, citizens. Millions of people in New Zealand. 700, last time I checked, which was this morning, 700 turned in. People are just saying, we're not respecting you or listening to you. And that's really more what I'm talking about when I talk about a quote-unquote breakup. That's what we're going to have to start with that next time.
Okay.
Because that's going to be a good one. Because I hope you're right, actually. I just don't see it. So that's where we're going to have to figure that one out. So where can we see you? What parting words do you want for our legions of fans?
Parting words. Let's see here. Number one, calm the fuck down and relax. It's just politics. Okay? Think of it that way. No matter who wins, who loses, you still got a damn job to do. Okay? You still got to take care of yourself. You know, wash your ass and, you know, make sure the kids are off to school and whatnot. Don't let politics dictate your life. Literally take time to stop and smell the roses. All right? Because it seems like the powers that be are trying to get politics into everything. Don't fall for that. Don't do that. Don't do that. You're still a man. You're still a woman. That's as far as I'm going to go, because there's only two genders. Ooh, did I say that? Yeah, I did. All right? Take time to enjoy yourself, man. Kiss somebody you love, man. Go hug somebody. Read a book or something, man. Dude, just seriously, don't get all riled up over what these people in D.C. are doing, because that's exactly what they want you to do. Don't do that. Don't do that. Enjoy yourself. I ain't saying be a bum, you know what I'm saying? But take time for yourself, all right?
Right.
You can find me. You know, it's been long enough. I ain't been kicked off yet, so I'm guessing the coast is clear. I can give my Twitter handle at Cursed FUD. And that's FUD with 2 D's for a double dose of this knowledge. You know what I'm saying? At Cursed FUD, okay? The Abby is Killdozer. Yeah, all right? So there it is. Look for that, okay?
Okay, yeah, that's at CURSEDFUDD, right? So this is that's an interesting one. So there, how's the Twitter reacquisition of followers going? Is it?
It's getting there. I've got like 600 followers. A far cry from the 8,000 I did have, but you know, slowly but surely.
Okay.
Slowly but surely.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
All right. Okay, so we'll go. Let's meet. Let's again next week or two. Within the minimum, got to be 2 to 3 weeks, absolute minimum, because we got to talk about the breakup. Yeah, so I've got stuff going on here. We will be out of town again here and there, but we've got to get it in. Our fans demand it, and so we'll sign off. All right, Quincy Johnson, truck driver, Twitter extraordinaire, and All-American.
Football is back. Praise the Lord. Woo!
Yes, yes. All right. We'll stop here. Thanks, man.
All right, peace.